Every school has a mystery. This one had a poopatrator. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's what they called him. Someone was sneaking into the bathrooms and smearing, not tagging, not vandalizing, straight up finger painting on the stalls with poop. There's been another Code Brown. I repeat, there's been another Code Brown. That's literally what they called this. It was a real phrase, a real alert. The janitor would sigh, grab his gloves, and head in. One day, a kid opens the stall and he freezes. It's art. A whole drawing smeared on the stall door. A sun drawn in the corner. A flower in the middle. A barn with a horse outside of it on the left side. All smeared in human feces. Look, dude, why is it actually good? Like, it was actually impressive. Nobody knew who was doing this, but after weeks of chaos, they caught him, brown-handed. They caught him in the act, mid-sketch. Turns out he did this every time he went number 2. He got expelled after that. And for 2 years after that, to try to avoid copycats, they had people monitoring the bathrooms at all times. All because of one poop Picasso. That's crazy. I need a new egg. Oh God, you can use mine. It's physics class. This kid named Frank has a presentation, and he needs an egg for some reason. Well, he brings one from home. Just one. Well, before class even starts, he sees a kid in the hallway that he doesn't like, and his genius self decided to throw his only egg at this kid. He makes me so mad. Ew, what the heck? So now class is about to start, and he's just like, oh God, no, I don't have an egg anymore. I'm gonna fail. I need to find an egg. That's when some random kid who was walking by in the hallway stops and says this to him. You can borrow my egg, huh? He laughed, thinking it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. This kid pulls out a real egg, and it has a face drawn on it. This is my son, Leonardo. Be careful with him, please. I'm gonna meet you back here after class. He hands it over like it's a sacred little egg. Frank uses it for his presentation, and he passes. The egg doesn't break. But Frank was so relieved that this all went well, when he was getting up to leave the classroom, he accidentally knocked Leonardo on the ground, and Leonardo cracked. Broke open. When he met the kid outside the classroom at the end, he just handed him bits of shells and yolk. Hey man, sorry, your egg broke. My bad, but thank you. Oh! Hey, Leonardo! My boy! This happened in the school cafeteria. There was a student with a severe peanut allergy, like the kind where touching residue would send him into complete shock. Everybody knew this, it was serious. But then there was this one kid, the class bully. One day at lunch, he pulls out a Reese's peanut butter cup. You know the ones? Oh. He eats it in front of this kid with the allergy, chewing it slowly, on purpose. Hey man, quit messing around, man. Okay, keep away from me. Then, he licks his finger. Hey. He starts chasing the allergy kid around the cafeteria. Come on, come here. One little touch, man. Stay away from me. He's laughing like it's just some game. And then, he taps the kid on the arm. Within seconds, this kid's face starts swelling up. Eyes puffed shut, he falls to the ground gasping. The nurse rushes in, she uses the EpiPen, and he gets sent to the ER. He nearly died, pretty much. But the bully? 2-week suspension. That's it? That's it. That was it. The kid with the allergy's parents tried to press charges. But there was some kind of settlement. Turns out the bully's parents had a lot of money that they donated to the school. And the school buried this. Karma's gonna get that kid one day, I swear. That's messed up. This class was visiting colleges. They were all on a bus to visit one of these local colleges. Well, this junior was sitting by his girlfriend. Now, these two have been dating forever. Everyone knew them as that couple. But halfway through the bus ride, and Kevin, we gotta talk. She breaks up with him on the bus. I can't do this anymore. You're an embarrassment to me. I have bigger things I want to do with my life. And you're gonna hold me back. I'm done. We are done. Oof. And he's just taking it. He finally stops talking and he's just sitting there staring out the window. 5 minutes go by. Then he quietly stands up, lowers the window gap as far as it'll go, shimmies his way out, and jumps out of the bus while it's moving. The bus is going 35 miles per hour on the highway. Everyone's panicking. Stop the bus! Stop the bus! Oh my God, he jumped! What happened? Well, I broke up with him. He said he didn't want to be on this trip with me, and he jumped out the window. So, not my fault. Now, this kid was fine. When he jumped out, he landed on this big pile of grass on the side of the highway. Just some scrapes and bruises. But when he landed, he just stood up and just ran into the woods. Full sprint. Backpack on and everything. They had to call his parents. His parents came to the side of the road where the bus was at. Staff was sent into the woods to go find him, and they found him, sitting by a creek on a log, crying softly to himself. Hey buddy, you okay? I loved her so much. Leave me here. Leave me here. This wasn't a field trip. It was a setup. Classroom, 12-year-olds, middle of math. All right, class, put your pencils down. We're going on a field trip. Wait, what? Where are we going? You'll see. Everybody line up. They line up, they walk outside the school, they walk down the road, they go through a fence, and then they see it. A vineyard. Isn't this a winery? I'm 12. Stay close. Are we like gonna study grapes or something? Shh. Just stay close. They get to the back of the winery, and they see this man. It was her husband. And right behind him was a woman. Another woman. The teacher turns to the class. Okay, everybody, that man is my husband. And that woman is who he's cheating with. Get a good hard look at the two. Stacy, what are you doing? Oh my god, they're on a field trip. That's cute. Shh, shut up. Class, you all saw this, right? Okay, you are all my witnesses. And I want things out of the house by the end of the day. What? By the end of the day. The kids then line up again behind her and they walk back to school. That teacher then divorced her husband and she got remarried. And they are still together to this day. And they have a very happy marriage, so that's good. This teacher is so mean. This kid was 12 years old and he was trying really hard in art class. The whole week he's working on this fruit bowl sketch. He's carefully shading it, blending colors. He's doing his best. Well, he's getting almost close to being done and he's proud of this. He walks up to the teacher and he says, "Hey, Miss Reynolds, you think I'm doing okay on this?" She takes one look, she smirks, and says this out loud in front of the entire class. It would be good if a 5-year-old did it. What? You heard me? No one even laughs at this. Even the class clown is sitting there in complete silence, just looking at him. He goes back to his desk, his face is red, and he just rips the painting in half. He didn't turn in another project the rest of the year. Even when he had to, he would just scribble something random on a piece of notebook paper and turn that in. Because why even try when the person who grades you talks to you like that? She killed his confidence and she made him hate what he used to love doing. And that is no way to be a teacher, so screw that lady. Presentations are today. I'm screwed. Hey, come here. I got you. This kid had over 200 PowerPoints just sitting on a flash drive. Every single one of them he made for fun. But then he turned it into a genius business. This started around 8th grade. This kid named Liam, quiet kid, kept to himself. For some reason, this guy was obsessed with making PowerPoint presentations. The history of water slides, the rise and fall of AOL, why birds might be smarter than we think. Just anything. At first, everyone thought it was just his thing, like his little quirk, until one day someone forgets to do their presentation for a class. Kids in full panic mode. What's the presentation on? Invasive species. I've got one on killer bees. Does that work? That's perfect. Kid turns it in, changes the title slide, and boom, he gets a B. That works. And just like that, it begins. He starts selling them PowerPoints on every single topic. Historical events, weird science, fast food history, literally anything. $10 per presentation and $15 if you had to have him customize it a little bit. He called it the Vault. Some of them people bought didn't even make any sense for what they had to turn in, but it was still better than nothing. By the end of the year, he had made over $500 doing this, and he says he plans to keep on doing it because he just loves making PowerPoints and he doesn't see himself ever stopping. So the supply is endless. You gotta respect the hustle. This kid ran a movie theater out of his garage, and yeah, he made money. This happened last summer. This one kid in the neighborhood, let's call him Johnny, not a really popular kid, but you know, people didn't mind him. He had a brilliant idea. He set up a projector in his garage. He had a popcorn machine in there, and he lines up actual chairs with cushions on them, rows A through D. He charges $3 for admission and $2 extra if they wanted popcorn, and business was immediately booming. Every night, new movie. One night it's Kung Fu Panda 2. The next night, Jaws. Friday night, playing Ratatouille. He does double features on weekends. By mid-July, the whole block's pulling up. Parents are sending kids with snacks to share with everybody. Some dude's dad is grilling out hot dogs in the driveway. It's a whole thing. It becomes this amazing, beautiful frickin' movie theater on someone's cul-de-sac. But it did go sideways for a second. One night, the theater was showing The Meg. You know, big shark movie. I've never seen it. But some kid brought his little brother, and this movie caused this kid's little brother to absolutely freak the heck out. Crying, he's horrified. This kid's parents shows up and they're super mad. That night the movie had to be shut down. Yeah, I'm not sure if your kid is qualified to run something like this. Yeah, well, your son's a little baby. Excuse me? no, this is better than the movie. Enough! Johnny's mom was finally like, you know what, that's it, no more shark movies, keep it all PG. And for the next few films he did. But then he went back to playing the variety of movies that he really enjoyed, and it was fine. He ran this theater for 42 nights straight. And by the end of summer, he made $300. Man, that sounds like the perfect frickin' business. And you know what? You gotta respect the hustle. It was supposed to be a normal lunch period, but 5 minutes later, the principal was on the floor. This happened at a high school. 2 senior girls lock eyes. You told him I cheated? Yeah, because you did. People are starting to notice what's going down. The cafeteria gets quiet. One of the girls picks up a carton of chocolate milk and dumps it on the other girl's head. And it begins. The hair pulling, the smacking. Get off me. You are so dead. Lunch trays are flying around, people are backing up, the principal comes running in. Hey, break it up. That's when one of the bigger of the seniors just clocks him right in the gonads. He drops, the whole cafeteria gasps, and then she climbs on a table. You want drama? I'll give you drama. No. A full-blown elbow drop. Kids are screaming, some are cheering, most of them are recording, and that was the day of lunchroom beef turned into a full-blown wrestling match. Nobody forgot that day, ever. Especially the principal. He got punched on purpose, and his plan worked. In 7th grade, this one kid, Zach, had been dealing with this guy named Tyler for a while now, and Tyler was a piece of work. He was loud, annoying, and constantly trying to get a rise out of Zach. Well, the thing is, Zach never let it get to him. He never shouted back, he never did anything mean to him, he didn't fight, he just waited. Until one Friday at dismissal, Zach saw his way. He sees Tyler standing over there by a locker, and he decides to enact his plan. It's time. Oh, hey, yo! He walks by Tyler and softly and accidentally bumps him in the shoulder. Yo, what is your deal? Well, Tyler snaps, and all Zach does is stand there. Say something. He doesn't, and that makes him very mad. He then winds up and punches Zach right in the face. You know what, dude? Well, Zach stumbles back, throws up his hands like he's gonna fight back, but then he just says, Time out. Yeah, you just punched me in the face, man. I'm not gonna fight you back, though. Everyone's like, yo, what? Guys, I didn't hit him, right? Huh? Look, he hit me. I didn't hit him. Security rolls up, so does the principal. No, he bumped into me. He was gonna fight me. No, it's a crowded hallway. I didn't even touch you. You punched me. What happened? We were fighting. Both of us. What happened? He punched me. I never swung. Zach didn't do anything. Tyler did. They looked at the cameras and everything checked out. Tyler was suspended for 3 days and Zach got nothing. The next day somebody asked Zach, yo dude, was that your plan the entire time? What can I say? I played chess. And that was his way of getting back at his bully without lifting a finger. Genius. There's always that one kid in school that would do anything. Not for money or clout, just because. Well, at this school, there was one kid, and he would do whatever anyone dared him to do. Slap a kid with a piece of pizza? All right. Take a dump in the urinal? I got you. Stand up on a lunch table in the middle of lunch and dump a chocolate milk on his head while he's screaming? He didn't just do it, he committed. People started testing him to see where the line was. I dare you to eat this ladybug, okay? I dare you to toss a spoonful of yogurt on the principal. That's easy. Yeah, there wasn't a line. He would do anything. But here's the weird part. In class, he was completely normal. Yo, what was the homework from yesterday? What was that small package he gave us? It's actually due tomorrow, but super easy. The last question's a trick question though, so be careful. But yeah, you guys should be fine. Let me know if you have any questions. Cool. Well, he didn't have any social media, no Instagram, no TikTok, no Snapchat. So after graduation, he disappeared. Nobody has seen him or heard from him ever since. No. He was in the back of the classroom, during a boring lecture, scrolling through his crush's Instagram page. I mean, pretty risky thing to do with a crush in the class, but that's what he was doing. Well, he's years deep into her Instagram page. As he's scrolling, his thumb grazes the heart. No. He panics and he accidentally goes back. So now he's got to scroll all the way down to find this picture that he accidentally liked from 5 years ago. His brain short circuits, the school's Wi-Fi is so bad it's kind of lagging. Older posts aren't loading. No. He looks over at his crush and he sees that her notification went off and she's reaching for her phone. No. Meanwhile, during all this, his phone was at 1%, and it died. His face goes completely white. The guy next to him asks him, hey bro, you okay? No, he wasn't okay. She looks at her phone. So he just gets up quickly and walks out of the room. Gotta go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. As he walks out, he looks behind and she's looking at him. So now his crush saw that he liked a photo from years ago during class. And now he's running out of the room. He probably looks insane. But his crush saw it, so he goes to the bathroom and he sits in the stall until the bell rings. He said he was so embarrassed he didn't go to school the next day. And when he did return, yeah, he got bullied. So she banned calculators, then this happened. This teacher was a strict math teacher, one of those no calculator types, which is lame in my opinion because screw math. But anyway, class, you will never need a calculator if you're actually smart. She said that at least once a week, always with a little smirk. Like she's trying to be inspirational, but she just comes across as condescending. One day, she's flying through problems on the board. She's fast, she's confident, she's feeling herself. Okay, 12 times 6, that gives us 64. The kid in the back, Brady, raises his hand and goes, miss, you mean 72, right? Excuse me? Yeah, you said 12 times 6 is 64. It's 72, miss. She looks at the board and she slowly erases it and changes it to 72. Awkward. Then Brady from the back goes, maybe you should use a calculator. Yeah, miss. What now? She's actually dumb. Yeah. Use a calculator, idiot. You smell like my dad. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. This one's kind of different. Listen up. He told me that in 9th grade, him and 2 of his friends started to throw parties. They would find someone's house to do it at first, and then they would begin planning. At the start of this, they would charge $10 for a wristband, and if you showed up to the party with a wristband, you would get in. Now, the bracelets that they gave out had a symbol written on it that could only be seen under a black light, and at every party, it was a different symbol. They did this so people couldn't go out and buy their own wristbands. Genius. The party started going crazy. They then upped their prices to $20 per wristband, and then $40. And then they hired their friend to DJ the parties. They were making bank. And if the parties ever got too crazy, they would call the cops on their own party. And because it wasn't their own house, they would just leave. That's some shady stuff, but he told me that they made a ton of money. So this girl, Amy, she's 15, straight up running a business at her school. Like it's a full-on operation. She buys the snacks and drinks in bulk. She breaks them up and sells them individually at a markup. Classic black market school economy. She's been doing this for 2 years now, and she's not out here just hoarding the cash that she makes. She's buying stuff. She's using her profits to buy clothes, shoes, whatever she wants. She doesn't ask her parents for money, she earns it. And her mom, well, her mom is like, I mean, yeah, why would I stop her? You know, she's not selling anything illegal, her grades are fine, and I haven't had to buy her anything in months. I'm really proud of her. But the school? Oh no. They catch her and a few other snack dealers and boom, week of detentions. And they warn her, one more time and you're suspended. Please, okay. Now the dad's losing his mind. No, honey, this is serious, okay? She's risking her education. She needs to be grounded. And the mom's like, grounded for what? Capitalism? Like, for real, what are we doing here, you guys? You know, she's not disrupting class. She's not failing. In fact, she's doing better than she has before. She's not pushing anything shady. She's just really good at business. The mom says this. The school's obviously making something out of nothing. It's not like she's slinging crank behind the vending machines. And honestly, I get it. I understand, like, rules are rules, but let's be real here. Half these schools don't teach the kids anything useful anyways. Good for her, for respecting her own hustle. And if that was my school, I'd be asking for her supply chain. Big ups to Amy. Yo, Jacob got lunch detention. Lucky. They called it lunch detention. It sounded terrifying. No talking, no food, no freedom, just an empty room and shame. But then this one kid gets sent there, and he comes back looking way too happy. Everyone's like, yo, are you good? Bro, that was actually fire. Turns out, lunch detention wasn't even detention. There were snacks, there was music, there was a frickin' couch. So the teacher that was running it was super chill. People would be playing Uno in the corner. Nobody wanted to leave. So here's what happened. A while back, the principal asked this one teacher to run lunch detention. He did. Nobody ever questioned it. And the principal never checked in. He never stopped by. And like I said, that teacher, super chill. He just made it his own thing, this chill spot for students to hang out during lunch. So while the rest of the school thought it was punishment, kids were in there vibing. Like it was some exclusive lunch lounge. And it lasted months before people started getting suspicious. They shut it down eventually, but to this day, it's still kind of a legend. They called it lunch detention, but it was basically club detention, right? Weird things teachers made students do. One day in 6th grade, this kid got to his math class before everybody else. It was just him and the teacher for a few minutes. And he was kind of anxious. So he was sitting there kind of jittery, but minding his own business. The teacher then noticed he was jittery. And this is what she did. Hi, I want you to stand up right now, please. Okay. Now I want you to dance. Just dance right there in your spot. Just dance. What do you mean? Start dancing. Can you at least put some music on or something for me? No. And so he stood there and he was dancing. He had no idea why he was doing this, but students were walking down the hall looking at him so weird. What the heck? Can I please stop dancing now? No! And then finally the bell rang. Okay, now you can stop. Thanks. He told his parents what happened and they were super pissed. His mom went to the school the next day and chewed this teacher out in front of the principal. It was this kid's 3rd birthday party and he did not care at all. So he was turning 3 and his parents went all out. Huge backyard party, like 50 people. Family, friends, cousins, neighbors, everybody was there. Everyone was eating cake, baby, playing games, presents stacked up. The kind of party parents throw because they know their kids are going to remember it forever. So that morning they gave this kid one of his gifts early. Here, sweetie. It's a little plastic toy lawnmower. Lawnmower. I like it. The kind that clicks when you push it, and he loves it instantly. He won't put it down, and they're thinking, good, great, best gift ever. So the party starts, people show up, kids are running around, everyone's having a fantastic time. And meanwhile, the birthday boy isn't anywhere near everybody because he's in the front yard, slowly mowing the lawn with his fake lawnmower. Just walking back and forth, pushing that little mower. He's completely locked in. And the party's happening in the backyard. Everyone's trying to get him involved. Like, hey, come on, buddy, come on, open some presents. Doesn't even respond, just keeps mowing the lawn. Hey, bud, it's your Uncle Joey. Come on, let's have some cake. Doesn't care. Eventually, people just start laughing because this entire time they're looking outside. This kid's just walking back and forth, mowing the lawn, could care less about his party. Then it comes time to sing happy birthday. They can't get him inside, so everyone else had to come out to the front yard and sing to him while he didn't listen and mowed the lawn instead. Actually, that's awesome. So I bought a couch from 25home.com and it came in these 2 giant boxes, so I was worried, but the first one came out super easy, all together. There's the pillow, that's the second piece, that's how it was in the box. It just came out just like that. And I put some old pillows on there to see if it would match, and it kind of does, but the couch itself is beautiful. Look at it, it's huge. Literally, the hardest part about this entire process was throwing away the cardboard boxes. Seriously. But anyway, this couch is amazing. I was so happy, it's so comfortable. So this one teacher, Mr. Thompson, was way too chill. He never gave homework, he never graded anything, he didn't even pretend to be strict. One time a kid asked him a question and he literally pulled up Google and was like, you know man, I don't know, let's figure this out together. Bro is one of us. But one day, someone asked him how long he had been teaching. Oh, I just kind of got into this. You know, and people laughed. But it was like, wait, what? Then a week later, Mr. Thompson, gone. No email, no goodbye. Just a new teacher walks in and goes, hey guys, I'll be finishing off the year. Mr. Thompson had to leave for personal reasons. But one of the office aides, who was a student, overheard a call between the principal and the school district. Apparently, Mr. Thompson was never a teacher. He was a long-term sub who never got certified. He wasn't supposed to be teaching alone. So when the district found out, they pulled him immediately. And here's the worst part. His replacement was absolutely horrible. Strict, boring, cold. The kind of teacher who acted like they hated kids. And even though Mr. Thompson wasn't technically a real teacher, he made way more of a real impact than half the ones who are. Man, that sucks. This guy and his buddy were called to do a plumbing job at an old lady's house. She called them because she was hearing some weird noises coming from some pipes in her attic. Oh my god, thank you so much for showing up. I keep hearing noises up there. I have no idea what it is. Don't even worry. Yeah, no, we'll head up there right now and see what's going on. Yeah, don't worry. We got this. And there was nothing wrong. Just old pipes. Yeah, man, looks like everything's fine up here, dude. Probably just some old pipes. I have an idea. Watch this. What did you do? He then walked right downstairs and told this old lady, yeah, ma'am, it's a pretty messed up situation up there. One of the pipes was on the verge of bursting and it just burst. It's gonna be a pretty big job, maybe around $5,000 to fix. Oh, well, I guess I can ask my son for some money. I think I'll be able to pay for it. When can you fix it? Today. I can fix it today. He couldn't believe that his buddy did that. He felt a lot of guilt for not telling that lady the truth. And when he eventually did turn his friend into the company they worked for, too much time had passed. She already paid, the pipe was fixed, and there was no way to prove what he did. These two 12-year-olds started a lemonade stand one summer. And at first it was basic, like they had the table, the sign, they were making lemonade, and people were buying it. They spent days perfecting the recipe. They were treating it like a chemistry project. But the thing is, the lemonade was incredible. Kids, this lemonade is incredible. People on their street loved it, but business began to slow down a lot. Then one of them goes, why are we selling this stuff to a cul-de-sac of 20 people when there's a whole downtown area? Good idea, let's move shop. So one Saturday morning, they moved the entire operation downtown, middle of town square. And now they're selling BLT sandwiches. And business was absolutely booming. They're making so much money. Word spreads fast. There's lines. They're selling out. At one point, a nearby cafe owner goes, "You're putting us out of business, guys!" And the kids take that as a compliment. But then the city gets involved. Because apparently, once you start having this sort of business in a public downtown area, you need a license. Health inspectors show up. These two kids are just standing there like, we're 12. Inspector's like, doesn't matter. And the city shuts the stand down immediately for not having permits or licenses. But the kids made so much money that they got over it pretty quick. He bullied the wrong kid. This bully started messing with one of the smaller kids by the lockers one day, talking trash and getting into his face. Nice hair, ginger boy. Trying to get a reaction, but the smaller kid ignored him. But you got nothing to say? Then, out of nowhere, the smaller kid grabs the combination lock that's hanging off his locker, and he swings it across the bully's face. This kid's kind of bleeding a bit, he's crying, teacher comes running, but the smaller kid skipped off the class, and for some reason he did not get in trouble for this. Well, his next class was woodshop. After the bully got himself all cleaned up, he started to get mad again. Yeah, you got a cheap shot on me. I'm gonna find him. Oh, I'm gonna get him back. The bully then goes to this kid's woodshop class. And he walks in. He sees the small kid in the back corner working. Now the small kid is working with 2x4s, planks of wood. Why the bully thought it would be a good idea to mess with him again, I don't know, but he does. Hey you, you're freaking dead! Without reacting much, you guessed it, smacks him right across the face with a plank of wood. Kid freaks out again, starts crying, he's bleeding again. This time they both get sent to the office, but the woodshop class had a ton of people say that this bully went to attack the small kid first. And if the small kid didn't defend himself, well, it would have been bad for him. The bully got expelled. Careful who you mess with. Bada bing, bada boom. This teacher and this one kid argued every single day, constantly butting heads. Johnson, look at me. No, you look at me. It's one of those things where every single class, kids are just waiting for some crazy stuff to go down between these two. Well, one afternoon, this teacher's fed up with this kid and says, Johnson, if you keep talking, we're gonna have a problem. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. If you keep talking, I'm gonna call your mother. The kid just goes, do it. The teacher goes, oh, I will. My mom's gonna agree with me anyway. The teacher didn't like him talking back. You know what? Just go to the office right now. Go right now. Leave my classroom. Okay. He walks out of the classroom for 1 second, and then he comes back in. You know what? I'm gonna call my mom for you. He dials. It's on speakerphone. It's ringing, and his mom picks up. Hey, Mom. My teacher wants to talk to you. Teacher was panicked. Didn't know what to do. Oh. The entire class is laughing. Here, I'm gonna hand you over to her. She takes the phone, and she hangs up. Kid was still sent to the office, but she kinda looked like a joke after that. So when this guy was in high school, the school's bulldog statue, big metal full-on mascot, just vanished. Gone overnight. The next day it was just an empty base and rumors were spreading. The rival school took it. It's gotta be a senior prank. One teacher said it was melted for scrap. What a dumb rumor. Well, fast forward 15 years, this one guy was having a beer with his older brother. His older brother was a very quiet, low-profile guy in high school. When all of a sudden, his brother said, hey, remember that bulldog statue in high school? Yeah, I hit it with my truck. It was me. You what? Apparently, it was late at night. He was doing donuts in the school parking lot. And boom. Oh God. The bulldog goes flying off the platform, and instead of owning up to this, he panics. He grabs the statue and tosses it in his trunk like it's a frickin' body. He drives it out to the woods. There's this little bridge by their old house. He parks by it, takes the bulldog out of the trunk, walks to the bridge, and looks around. Sorry, buddy. And dumps it. Bulldog sinks to the bottom of the river. Gone forever. Honestly, That is legendary behavior. Okay, so what's going on with school lunches these days? A high schooler took pictures of their school lunches and put it on Reddit, and most of them look absolutely disgusting. Like one day, all they served was a plate of nachos. Here's a nasty looking chicken patty with like 4 fries. The thing still looks frozen. Is this cheese curds and chips? Who's in charge of the lunch? Oh, here's another chicken patty with some different fries, and this one looks even worse. All right, the next one's a hot dog, and this is absolutely abysmal. What in God's name is that? This one's I couldn't even tell you. This one day, they got a Hot Pocket and broccoli. That's the laziest meal I've ever seen. And this last one looks like a beef sandwich and fries. This one actually doesn't look too bad, but it's kind of sus. Is this a problem everywhere? Like, are your lunches good? Or what's going on? Tell me. This kid's an absolute genius. So one of my followers is running a business in his school right now, and he's been running it for about 1.5 years. So this dude told me he carries around a giant backpack and he sells stuff out of it. And there's actually a teacher at his school who helps him sell the big stuff. This guy sent me some pictures of his product. You see here, he's got like soda, candy, there's Prime, there's Oreos. This guy goes all out. Look at this stuff. And for the best part, he sent me pictures of the profit he's made. Look at this wad of cash, just bank rolling in every single day. I mean, come on, obviously business is absolutely booming. He told me in total, so far, he's made over $3,000 and he has no plans to stop. Gotta respect the hustle. Would you run a business at your school? Okay, this would freak me out. So a family was camping in Australia and they were sitting around the fire eating some food when suddenly their campsite was invaded by robber crabs, or otherwise known as coconut crabs. This whole situation is super creepy, but what's even weirder is how they don't seem to care at all. This dude's eating, this dude's just scrolling on his phone. This girl seems to be enjoying herself. Australians are built different, I'll tell you that. This kid got suspended for selling pencil insurance. So this kid, right, he's kind of smart, he's kind of funny, he definitely knows how to game the system. He notices that every day in every class, someone, every single day, asks to borrow a pencil. So he starts offering a deal. $1 pencil insurance covers you for the entire week. If you lose your pencil, boom, he'll replace it. Need an eraser? You're covered, he's got you. It's actually a good deal. It's way cheaper than buying a full pack at the store. And it absolutely blows up. By Thursday of that week, 15 kids are covered on this pencil insurance. He starts giving out policy numbers. He makes sure that he has one of his insurance agents in every classroom that has an insured client. Carries around a binder, he has terms and conditions. One teacher sees all this and says, "Hey, you can't run a business in class. It's not a business, sir. It's insurance." The next week, he starts offering platinum packages. $3 a week gets you mechanical pencils. $5 a week gets you 2 pencils every time you lose or break 1. That's when the admin gets involved. "Are you selling items on school property?" "No, sir, I'm providing peace of mind." They then suspend him for unauthorized commerce. But on his way out of the building, he sees one of his clients. He says to him, "If you need pencils while I'm gone, talk to my cousin. Spread the word." And his cousin, who did go to that same school, took over for him in his absence. That's absolutely awesome. Back in middle school, this kid and his friend used to be those guys. You know, those guys who could get you anything. Gum, they got you. Snacks, they got you. Any drink you want, they got you. Homework passes, Pokemon cards, bathroom passes, they could get it. They were constantly making tons of money. Their business was seriously booming. At one point, they ventured out to do something a bit more risky. They began a service where they would get people dates to a school dance. It was a tough venture, and it cost a lot, but they learned that everyone has a price. Well, the selling dates side business ended when they got this kind of nerdy kid a date to the Christmas dance. However, the girl had a boyfriend, and the girl's parents wondered why she wasn't going to the dance with her boyfriend. The boyfriend found out, got really mad, and the whole story unraveled. These 2 guys got suspended, and they had to shut down all of their businesses. In total, by the end of middle school, these 2 guys made over $7,000. You gotta respect the hustle. You are a sad excuse for a student. Can you please leave him alone? No. This happened in a 7th grade social studies class. You see, this teacher, she had a reputation. She didn't like to grade papers. So at the start of every class, students had to grade each other's papers for her. And it always had to be done in red pen. Well, one day this kid, quiet, he's kind of awkward, he has trouble focusing, probably like me, he's probably got ADHD. He asks the person next to him, "Hey, can I borrow a red pen?" Before he even gets an answer, the teacher snaps loudly, "Don't you dare give him a pen!" The whole class just stares. She just starts going off on him. You are a sad excuse of a student, too lazy to even remember your own pen? You will go nowhere in life if you can't remember basic supplies. You are an absolute disgrace. It doesn't stop. She keeps going 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. Pathetic. Worthless. embarrassment. Other students are getting incredibly uncomfortable. Please leave him alone. Okay, miss, he gets it. Just please stop. But she doesn't. She continues to tear him down in front of everybody. And when it's over, he just sits there, red in the face, tears building in his eyes. Doesn't say a word for the rest of class. Multiple students reported this, parents called the school, but nothing happened. There were no consequences. No apology either. She kept teaching, and he just kept to himself. That is completely messed up. Weird experiences with other kids' families. This kid's friend's mom was incredibly religious, and in their house there was this cuckoo clock of Jesus that would go off every hour. Well, whenever he was hanging out at that house, every hour the mom would make the kids write notes thanking Jesus for everything they did that past hour. For example, every hour they would have to write something like, "Thank you, Jesus, for letting us play with Legos and eat cookies." She would then read all the kids' notes and correct them, like this. "This is really nice, Kyle, but you had milk as well. Do you want to make Jesus sad because you're not thankful for the milk?" "No, that's what I thought. I'm going to add milk for you, okay? Remember next time." Just crazy stuff like that every single hour. This kid said that their house also looked like a full-blown church, with 4-foot-tall crucifixes in every room and an altar. Maybe it's just me, but that seems a little excessive. This guy was 9 years old. He was taking a bath when he accidentally took a dump in the bathtub. He got out, got dressed, and tried to figure out what he was gonna do. "What am I supposed to do with you, poop?" Well, in the bathroom, there was this hole in the wall that had been there for as long as he could remember. So he scooped up the poop, and he threw it inside the hole in the wall. He then went on with his day and didn't tell anybody about it. Years and years pass and nobody ever knew what he did. Well, one day, about 15 years after the initial poop incident, he comes home from college to visit his parents. He goes to the bathroom and he notices that the hole in the wall was patched up. "Hey Dad, I see you finally fixed the hole in the wall." "Oh yeah, I did that last month. It was about time." Yeah. His parents then sold the house, and chances are that mummified poop that he threw in the bathroom wall is still there. This guy was in middle school. He had an obsession with fire. Well, one day he was home alone, so he grabbed some cardboard boxes and trash and went outside to the family's fire pit. Keep in mind, it was a pretty deep fire pit. He threw all the stuff in there, grabbed lighter fluid from his dad's grill, doused the garbage, and lit it on fire. And up the flames went. Completely satisfied, he sat back and watched the fire blaze, until suddenly, a strange-looking fireball jumped out of the fire pit and started running towards the woods. Turns out there was a raccoon in the fire pit, and when it caught on fire, it tried to make the grand escape. Well, when it got to the woods, it ended up burning a few trees down. But sadly, the raccoon didn't make it. The weirdest families ever. When this kid was in middle school, she was sleeping over at her friend's house. She wanted to take a shower, so her friend gave her a towel. She said the towel smelled kind of weird, but there was no other towels in the shower, so she used it. She later found out that this girl's family shares one towel to prevent having to use new ones all the time. She told her friend how weird it was, and she was shocked to find out that her family had their own towels every time they showered. Unfortunately, she couldn't get over this situation, and she never slept over at her friend's house ever again. One kid had this friend that he would hang out with all the time. He would often hang out there during dinner time, but the thing was, he was never allowed to eat. "All right, boys, dinner time." They would make him sit at the table with the family, but they would never serve him a plate. He never understood why. "Hey, Mr. Stevens, do you think I can have some food tonight?" "No, Kyle, you know the rules." "Can I be excused then to go watch TV?" "I said you know the rules. You sit there until we're done." "I am so hungry." I'm sorry, man. "Honey, this lasagna is fantastic." "Oh my god, honey, thank you so much. I worked really hard on this." "You're missing out, Kyle." "This is delicious." This kid's family had this very weird rule. They would always keep 12 pre-poured glasses of water in the fridge at all times. His parents said they did this because it's quicker than having to pour tap water into a glass, put ice in there, and then wait for the water to get cold. So instead, they had the pre-poured cups of water already in the fridge. And whenever you would finish a glass of water, you would refill it and put it back in the fridge. It sounds pretty weird, but it also sounds very convenient. What do you guys think? Throughout this kid's entire childhood, his dad made him do this one specific thing. There was a very small and empty closet in their house, and once a month, every month, in the middle of the night, his dad would wake him up out of his deep sleep, bring him over to the closet, and made him stand in there for 2 minutes. He called it elevator practice. "Son, psst, Kyle, wake up. It's time. Come on. Okay, get on in there. And stop. That was your best one yet, buddy. All right, head to bed. Same time next month. When this kid was 9 years old, he was hanging out at his friend's house when he had to go to the bathroom. Number 2. Couple minutes later, his friend's dad went in the bathroom. He then came out and said this. Alrighty, we have a problem. Kyle, did you take a poop in my bathroom? Yeah, I did. Now, why in God's name would you do that? Because I had. Do you know how disrespectful that is? In my toilet. If you had to take a you should have gone to your own house. But sir, I had to go to the bathroom. I don't care. I'm calling your mom right now and I'm telling her you are never allowed here ever again. Hi, Mrs. Stevens. This is Mr. Johnson. Your son is disgusting and I hate him. What? I'm so confused. The locker room at this one school was built on a limestone creek, but nobody cared about the foundation. One day, this kid named Mike was running late to gym class, and he was the only one in the locker room because everybody else was in the gym. He was sitting on a bench, tying his shoe. What is that noise? He hears a strange noise coming from the floor, so he stood up. And he felt the ground kind of dip. He realized the floor definitely didn't look right. So when he goes to the gym, he tells the PE teacher, Coach, I think the floor in the locker room is moving and it made a loud noise. But the coach did not care. Oh, you scared of the floorboards now, Mike? The floor isn't moving, you're going crazy. Now everyone's laughing at him. You know what, actually? Get down and give me 20 push-ups right now. So now, middle of the gym, everyone's standing around Mike as he's doing push-ups. Mike's afraid of the floor, isn't that right, coach? Shut up, Billy. At the end of the push-ups, Mike stands up. The coach gives one last word. So from now on, stop being so frickin' soft and get to gym on time. But right as he said that, a loud crash was heard throughout the entire school. They go to the locker room. Oh, look, coach. The floor had collapsed. There was a 5-foot wide hole, and the lockers had fallen in it. It was a frickin' sinkhole. Mike was right. I think Mike was right, coach. You got something to say to me, coach? Yeah. Everyone evacuate the locker room. And he never apologized to Mike. But it all started because where does he get all his money? Oh, he runs a school storage empire. Nice. So this kid finds an extra locker. No name on it, no combination, just unlocked. And he gets an idea. He cleans it out, puts his own lock on it, and he starts a business. $3 a day for private storage. He spreads the word, people start taking him up on this. The first week he makes $15, just from kids storing some random stuff, like a lunch or a hoodie. But he takes that $15 and he flips it. He starts renting lockers from other students. He found kids that never use theirs, and he gives them money. He rents it out from them. And now he's running his storage business out of their lockers as well. It's simple. He pays a small little fee, he charges people for storage, and he keeps the profit. At his peak, he had 3 different lockers in 3 different hallways. Different clients, different time slots. People would store their phones before gym, put their hoodies in there when they were too hot. There was no drama, no theft. Everybody respected the system. He kept a spiral notebook to track who had what in what locker and when. He even offered weekly deals. $10 for 5 days guaranteed. One kid used that to store a bunch of snacks for himself to have throughout the week. But then, one day, 3 kids are hovering by locker 223. A teacher walks by, sees one of them pull out a whole bag of candy and a phone charger. Whose locker is this? Nobody answers. The admin gets involved. They pop the lock. Inside are 3 phones, a hoodie, a bag of Takis, and a pair of Crocs. They start asking around, and eventually his name got brought up and he was called to the office. Were you charging students to use lockers? No, I was offering a service, but what would you know about that? Locker Empire shut down, but in 2 weeks he made over $100. No losses, no complaints. The only reason it ended was because it got too popular, and that's a good thing. You gotta respect the hustle. The performance is over, you may all go home. I'm a star! So every year, this school put on a big spring play. Tickets, costumes, a full audience. It was a big deal. And this one year, they were doing Robin Hood. Now, most of the cast was taking this very seriously. But there was this one kid. Let's call him Noah. He played one of the guards. He barely had any lines. And that was the problem. Because Noah wanted more stage time, and nobody gave it to him. So, on opening night, he decided to take it. Everything's going fine. The actors are on point. The audience is locked in. Robin Hood's doing his big dramatic speech. I do not steal for greed, I steal for justice. While the kings eat in their golden halls, the people will scrape crumbs off the floor. So yeah, that kid was killing it. He was feeling himself. But then Noah walks forward, points to Robin Hood, and says with a completely straight face, he's got a crossbow in his pants. That's why he's walking like that. The actors freeze. The kid who played Robin Hood looks like he's about to cry. But Noah's not done. No. He starts pacing across the stage like a detective, muttering to himself, the moss is fake. The footprints don't match the alibi. This was never about taxes. Everybody's flabbergasted. He's inventing a crime subplot in the middle of a play. And then the finale. Knocks over a set piece, points up to the sky and says, it was the butler! And he starts running around the stage. The lights cut. The cast members are crying. The principal gets onto the mic and says, performance is over, you may all go home now. I'm a star. And that was it. The show got canceled mid-performance. No second night, no cast party. It was done. And Noah, well, he showed up to school the next day like nothing happened. But people said you can tell. He was very, very proud of what he did. The school printer hustle. One of my subscribers sent in this story about a business he ran in school. So when this kid was in 9th grade, his school charged 10 cents per page to print anything from the library computers. Now the library had some of the only printers in the entire school, and nobody carried cash or change on them, so this was a real pain in their ass. And the school system would not take digital payments, so kids were constantly begging teachers to print stuff for them, which the teachers thought was annoying. Well, one day this kid noticed a printer sitting in the corner of one of the unused computer labs, unplugged. It was just sitting there collecting dust. So at the end of the day, he went to that computer lab, grabbed the printer, and tried to get out of the school as fast as he possibly could. He made it. He went home and he had the printer with him. He spent $20 on ink for that specific printer. He then got a big duffel bag and set the printer up in his duffel bag. The next day, he started offering his own printing service. But unlike the school, this kid was gonna take digital payments. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, you name it. He even took lunch trades. He printed it all. Homework, essays, last-minute assignments, nothing was off limits. At first, he just charged 5 cents per page to print. He wanted to undercut the school to get the business, but once word started to spread, it didn't matter. People were willing to pay up to 50 cents per page, just because it was convenient. Some teachers who didn't have printers in their classroom and hated using the library printers started paying him as well to print out worksheets for their class. And bingo! By the end of the semester, he had so much business that he had to bring a second backpack to carry all the printer paper in. This wasn't just a side hustle. This was a full-blown underground print shop. Genius. 5 disgusting school lunches. Up first, we have a chili dog type lunch. And this one's not horrible, but it definitely does not look very appetizing. Up next was from a school that was serving chicken sandwiches one day. And this was the chicken sandwich that they were serving. Next, this is a meatloaf meal, I think. Is that meatloaf? I don't really know. It's definitely a super weird thing to serve at school lunch. Alright, this next school was serving pizza and mozzarella sticks one day. And here is a picture of that lunch. The pizza doesn't look cooked, the mozzarella sticks look nasty, and what are those? Garbanzo beans? Disgusting. And last but not least, another school lunch pizza, but this one was completely molded. Whoever served this to students should be fired. This kid and his friend ran the most insane businesses in high school. He lived pretty close to shops, so every day he would buy a bunch of items. And him and his friend made a website where students at their school could go on and order items from them. The website had descriptions and prices on there as well. It was very convenient. Then, to get paid and make profit, he charged a $7.50 delivery fee. They also had a selection of energy drinks that they stored in certain lockers around the school that were available for students' immediate pickup. Another thing they did was that they sold teachers' login information. Now the prices for these were much higher. Kids would buy them to change grades and do stuff like that. They also had the principal's login. They actually sold that one for over $600. These geniuses ran these businesses for over 4 years, and they made about $300,000. That's absolutely insane. New black market vid on my page. Check it out right now. When this guy was in college, he used to work in a kitchen at a restaurant. One day it was very busy. Somebody messed something up and the kitchen started on fire. Fire, guys, fire, fire! Somebody grabbed a fire extinguisher and put it out. At this point, the kitchen was trashed. But here's the thing. The boss said, I don't care what just happened. Keep cooking, keep sending the food out, we are not stopping. And they did. They kept serving customers, even though the kitchen was burnt as crap and there was fire extinguisher junk everywhere. Finally, at the end of his shift, as this guy was about to leave, they stopped him. Hey, Steven. Yeah? I'm not sure where you're going. I never said you can go home. I need you to clean up the kitchen from the fire, okay? What? Just me? Yeah, it's Carla's birthday and we're all gonna get some drinks, so you gotta clean it up. Make sure you lock the doors when you leave, okay? Yeah, it's my birthday. He said, screw that, and he went home, and he never returned to that place ever again. Weirdest household rules ever. When this kid was like 8 years old, he was hanging out at his friend's house, and they were playing video games in his friend's room upstairs. Well, this kid had to pee very bad, so he went to the bathroom on the second floor of the house, and he started peeing. Well, somehow, his friend's mom knew he was peeing in that upstairs bathroom, and she rushed up there and started banging on the door. Excuse me, what are you doing in here? Kyle? You better not be peeing. She said he couldn't pee in that bathroom because this bathroom is for nighttime peeing only and it's daytime right now. You can't be peeing in here. So she made this kid stop peeing midstream and she sent him to the downstairs bathroom to finish. When he finished and left the downstairs bathroom, she was standing there waiting for him. I bet you learned your lesson, huh? Yeah, I called your mom. She's on her way to get you right now. You are never allowed here ever again. But never again. I was almost mugged, but this is how I got out of it. I was walking home to my apartment on a cold, snowy Chicago evening, and I decided to take a shortcut. As I was walking through the alleys, I heard someone behind me yell, "Hey man, come here." And because it was late and I was skeptical, I just kept on walking, but he started following me. It was definitely a little sus. This is the point where I started straight up running to my apartment. I'm running and this guy's chasing me. I finally see the back of my apartment when I slip and fall on a big sheet of ice. At this point, the guy was catching up to me and I was like, alright, he's gonna get me, oh well. And I just started crying, screaming, flailing around. And what I didn't know at the time is that when I fell on the ice, my pants fell down too. And this guy gets to me and I'm preparing for the worst. But I guess my pantsless screaming self made him feel very uncomfortable because all he said was, oh hell no, and he ran away. And that's how I avoided being mugged. Facts about celebrities that nobody really talks about. Matthew Perry from Friends lost a part of his middle finger after he slammed it in a car door when he was 3 years old. You can see it right here in this screenshot from a Friends episode. Elvis Presley was actually a natural blonde, but he started using black shoe polish to darken his hair because he thought it made him more handsome. Denzel Washington has dislocated his pinky finger so many times that sometimes it just falls out of place. In 1978, Tim Allen, known for his roles in Home Improvement and The Santa Claus, was caught with 1.4 pounds of cocaine on him. He was facing some serious prison time, but he snitched on other dealers in exchange for a smaller sentence. When Angelina Jolie was 22, she hired a hitman to kill her. She was going through a really tough time and wanted to escape, but the hitman was a decent enough person to ask her if that's what she really wanted. He told her to think about it and call him in 2 months. Well, she changed her mind. She said something changed, and she decided to stick it out. The worst things people did in school. One day in middle school, one of the popular students wanted to mess with a kid that was bullied often. They were in class, and when this kid went to the bathroom, the popular kid cut the straps of his backpack. Hey, watch this. A few minutes after the kid got back, he noticed. What the heck? Did you do this? Loser. Turns out that kid's family didn't have a lot of money at all, so for the rest of the school year he had to carry around his backpack in his hands because he couldn't afford a new one. Nice backpack, loser. Kids that were legends in their high school. A follower submission. This guy sent me a story of how he became popular at his school. Recently, this guy moved to a brand new school. He had no friends and nobody knew who he was. Well, one day in class, he heard one of the popular kids say, "I'm hungry for some pizza." And that gave him an idea. He asked to go to the bathroom, and when he was in the bathroom, he went on DoorDash and ordered a few pizzas to be delivered to the school. The pizzas arrived when he was still in class, so he told the driver just to leave it in the office with his name on it. When lunch came around, he went to the office, grabbed the pizzas, and found that popular kid who said he was hungry for pizza and gave him a whole box. That kid and his friends were hyped. He then took the other pizzas and sold a few slices to other students. He made 20 bucks, but after that, he was no longer a nobody. He became pretty popular, and now everyone calls him the Pizza Boy. Nice. This man tried to get revenge on somebody that killed him in a video game. Julien Barreau was a 20-year-old Counter-Strike player living in France. But one day in the game, someone stabbed him and killed his character. Well, that did not make him happy at all. He spent months hunting down the opponent that killed him, and he eventually found him. He entered his house and stabbed him multiple times. Luckily, the victim survived. The knife missed his heart by centimeters. The judge called Barreau a menace to society and sentenced him to 2 years in prison and anger management lessons. I feel like they went too easy on him. What do you think? Craziest things teachers caught their students with. This teacher said that one day when he was trying to give a student a detention, the student pulled out an Uno switch card and genuinely thought that would get him out of it. That's not how it works, my friend. This next teacher said that one day he confiscated a makeshift taser from one of his students. The kid had rigged it by using multiple 9-volt batteries, wire, tape, and a button that was taken off from a toy. And the last one. At this one elementary school, a student came in with a bag. The teacher was kind of concerned, so she looked inside the bag. And turns out there was a live baby in there. Apparently this kid wanted to show her friends her brand new little brother. My question is, how'd the parents let this happen? Sus. When this girl was a senior in high school, there was a kid in her chemistry class named Leo. He was 6 feet tall and he was super weird. One day, while they were doing a chemistry lab, he comes up from behind her and says, "Psst, psst. Yes? Can I have one of your hairs?" What? Can I have one of your hairs? She just wanted him to leave her alone, so she gave him one of her hairs. Okay. Thank you. He then took the hair back to his table, burnt it with the flame from the Bunsen burner, and inhaled the fumes. Oh. Perfect. And whenever he tried to bother her from that day on, she would just give him a piece of her hair, and it kept him away from her and distracted for a good while. That's weird. Here's a crazy McDonald's story. So the person that shared this said that she used to work at McDonald's. Well, this lady pulls through and orders a large high C. The girl working the drive-thru said that when they pulled up to pay and get their drink, she heard a lot of people in the car giggling, but she didn't really think too much of it. So she takes her money. All right, that's $2.50. Thank you. And here's your drink. Then, not even 2 seconds later, as she was turning around, she heard the lady in the car scream, "Fire in the hole!" The woman in the car then threw the large drink directly at the drive-thru worker. But somehow the worker was quick, and she managed to ninja chop that cup directly back into that person's car. Oh! It's all over me! The customer who threw the cup then got very mad and demanded that she speak to a manager. I want to speak to a manager right now. This is unacceptable. The drive-thru worker then tells her manager what happened. He took her picture, posted it in the front of the McDonald's, and they banned her from that McDonald's for the rest of her life. You kids need to be more responsible. You first. In this one class, late homework gets you an immediate 0. No excuses, and this teacher was brutal about it too. If you can't turn it in on time, you fail. Life doesn't give you extensions, kids. And the thing is, she assigned homework all the time. You know, every week, new homework, the kids would turn it in, but then, listen to this, but then, nothing. No feedback, no grades, nothing gets returned to them. Well, one day, this kid named Johnny kind of snaps. "Hey miss, just wondering, if life doesn't give you extensions, where's all of our graded homework from the last month?" "Excuse me, I'm very busy, Johnny. I have a life too, you know." Can't believe you. "Well, you know what? Maybe you should finish your homework before you hand us out more, you hypocritical..." "Office now." "That's fine, but I'm gonna tell Mr. Stevens that he should probably have a look inside your gradebook. Okay, bye." Funny enough, by the next morning, the student portal of that class had been completely updated. She had graded everything. And during class the next day, she changed the late work policy. At this one house, Wi-Fi didn't belong to the kids. It belonged to her. Every single night at 9 p.m., this kid's mom would walk over to the router, unplug it, and announce, "The internet is closed. See you tomorrow." Didn't matter if you needed the internet for something. She would always unplug it at 9 p.m. Well, one night, this kid is sitting at his kitchen table. He's finishing a huge essay that's due at midnight. The clock says 8:59 p.m. He's typing. He doesn't really notice the time, but he's cooking. He's writing this freaking essay. He's ready to get an A on this thing. 1 minute passes. Boom, it's 9 p.m. Oh, what happened? "I'm sorry. You had all day to prepare for this. Too bad. This is a huge essay. I'm almost done. I need like just 10 more minutes, please." "I said you should have planned better, son. Too bad." This kid is absolutely livid. He tries to figure out a way to get Wi-Fi from his neighbor's house or to have someone drive him to like a Starbucks or something, but he couldn't figure it out. Well, midnight comes and goes and the essay was never uploaded. And he's worried because if he gets a 0 on this, his grade is gonna severely suffer. Well, the next day at school, he tells his teacher what happened, and the teacher looks appalled. You know, your mom cut the Wi-Fi while you were doing your essay? Yeah. Man, that sucks. Listen, I'll extend your deadline for tonight. You should be able to finish it after school. Oh, totally, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Your mom sounds like a piece of work. Yeah, she is. And that night, he was able to finish it. What a good teacher. No snack, no participation points. But it's my birthday. This one teacher at this one school made a new rule. If your birthday falls on a school day, you have to bring a snack for the entire class. No exceptions. It didn't matter if your family couldn't afford it. It didn't matter if you forgot. If you didn't bring snacks, you would get your participation points docked for the whole week. And the teacher would call you out in front of everybody. So this one kid, Tyler, it's his birthday and it's a Tuesday. He doesn't bring anything. And the teacher just lights him up. Oh, no snacks for your friends, huh, Tyler? How selfish are you? The whole class is just staring at him. Tyler's just sitting there. I didn't even ask to be born. 2 days later, it's this girl Chloe's birthday. She felt bad for Tyler, and she came in that day and she followed the rules. Technically. She walks in with a sandwich bag full of Tic Tacs. 1 Tic Tac for each kid, individually handed out. For my beloved classmates, I brought you all a snack. Enjoy the feast. Class is dying. People are clapping. Teacher's trying to hold it together, but you can see the vein popping in her face. Okay, I see. You're making fun of me. You think this is a joke. It's okay. The whole class just starts mocking this teacher and the rule and praising Chloe for this hilarious kind of stunt she pulled. The teacher just snaps. Fine. You know what? Birthday snacks are canceled. Forgive me for trying to make everyone's birthday a fun time. I honestly can't believe you guys. Get over it. What a wild thing for a teacher to do. It's their birthday, yet they're getting in trouble if they don't bring snacks in. Get out of my face. Yo, did they lock the vending machine? Yeah, after what happened to Steven. What happened to Steven? So this kid Steven, 7th grader, he's got a total sweet tooth. Well, one day during lunch, he brings like $15 in change, dumps it in the vending machine, and he goes to town. 6 honey buns, 2 Pop-Tarts, and a pack of powdered donuts. Back to back to back to frickin' back. Now, a teacher walks by and says, "Hey, that's a lot of sugar, buddy." It's my money and it's my stomach. 2 periods later, Steven is in PE and he's running laps when suddenly he stops dead in his tracks. Hands on knees, face pale, and then he pukes everywhere. Like a full cinnamon glaze explosion all over the gym floor. Janitor shows up unfazed. Because, of course, janitors are frickin' awesome. Well, after that, the principal has a full-on panic attack. The school blames the vending machines. The next morning, padlocks are on both machines, all the snacks have been taken out, and there's a sign there. Until further notice, snacks are suspended. Now kids are furious with Steven, like he's a frickin' honey bun villain. Every time Steven walks down the hallway. Thanks a lot, Steven. Really could've used a Pop-Tart today, man. Screw you. Tried to apologize, but it was too late. Once the snacks had gone, there was no coming back. Poor kid. Head up, do you have your nap slip? Wait, what? So this school had a rule. You were not allowed to put your head down on a desk unless your parents signed a literal nap permission form. Like it was a frickin' field trip or something. So this is the type of stuff that would happen. Like one day, this kid named Noah, he got himself a pretty bad headache. He's not faking it, he's not being dramatic, he's just tired and his head is pounding. He lowers his head on his arms for like 2 seconds and the teacher is on it. Hey, head up unless you have the slip. You're kidding me, right? Nope, it's a classroom policy. And for that day, she marked him down as non-participating, and he got a bunch of points taken off. Well, his grade drops, and he's pretty upset by this. His teacher's pretty stubborn, so he's trying to figure out ways to beat her, but he decides ultimately to just follow the rules. He was gonna follow the rules in an awesome way. He went home to his parents, and he had his parents create him a nap participation slip. The slip was laminated, and it had a lanyard around it. So he comes back with that signed, laminated, customizable nap permission slip. Boom, miss. Certified for the rest of the year. For the rest of the year, whenever he wanted to put his head down or he wasn't feeling too well, he would just pull out a slip and slam it on the desk. Okay. I got clearance, miss. Super weird rule, super weird teacher, but I guess that kid's a legend. I don't know. You wrote her up for being sad. She was...
Ok, nó chào bạn nhá. Chào mừng các bạn đến với channel Đông Bong Vlog, cuộc sống ở châu Phi. Thì hôm nay anh em mình có dịp ra trang trại của người Brazil ở bên này để xin phân bò về trồng nông nghiệp nha mọi người. Thì mình hôm nay cũng ra thăm xem người bên Brazil bên này họ chăn nuôi như thế nào để anh em mình có thể học hỏi được kinh nghiệm cũng như cách chăm sóc dê cũng như lợn của người dân bên này nha mọi người. Thì hôm nay mình sẽ vào review đàn dê của họ như thế nào cho mọi người xem nhé. Và mình cũng sẽ hỏi cái anh quản lý và cũng như chăn nuôi ở đây xem là anh ấy chăm sóc dê như thế nào nha mọi người. Thì học nữa học mãi chắc không thừa, nên là anh em mình có dịp ra đây là mình tiếp cận luôn gần với anh ấy để mình học hỏi thực tế nha mọi người. Hôm nay giờ mình vào review đàn dê của người Brazil của người Brazil chăm sóc như nào cho mọi người xem nhé. Ui nhiều dê không kìa. Ôi chạy hết rồi. Đây nha mọi người, đến đây là mình đang ra tiếp cận với đàn dê này, của người Brazil họ nuôi nha mọi người. Đây có một anh ở trong tem nông nghiệp đang giúp bác này. Bé Tiên à? Đây là nhà bác trưởng thôn đây nhé mọi người. Bác nói câu là cảm ơn rất là nhiều ấy. Nhưng mà có gì đâu, gạch không dùng được nữa thì không làm gì để cho bác, để bác xây tường rào. Thế bác bảo bác để mình hỏi bác xây ở đâu. Mai về nè.
Sim.
Adubo agora faz aqui.
Então para fechar aqui o muro. Fechar aqui. Sim.
Olha.
Aqui.
Aqui passar aqui.
Fechar aqui.
Fechar aqui.
Sim. Até aí.
Sim.
Sim, para os bandidos não entrar mais na casa.
Bác trưởng thôn đang nói là cái gạch này xin anh em mình về để bác xây thẳng cái tường rào ở đây. Aqui tem gatuno.
Tem gatuno, sim. Sim.
Olha aqui.
Tiraram a minha roupa, as panelas, comida, tudo foi.
Bác bảo bữa trước ở nhà bác là có trộm vào. Ok hello, chào bạn, chào mừng các bạn đến với channel Đông Bong Vlog, cuộc sống tại châu Phi. Thì bây giờ là buổi chiều nhé mọi người. Thì ở nhà anh em mình cũng rảnh nên mình lên thăm nông nghiệp cũng như lên thăm chăn nuôi một chút nha mọi người. Sáng nay bảo họ dọn hết gạch. Sáng nay mình bảo là người dân là dọn hết gạch đi, vì anh em mình là xây gạch bữa trước là tính là đóng gạch này để xây chuồng chăn nuôi nhé mọi người. Nhưng mà anh em mình đã mua block về xây, vì lúc sáng này anh em mình cũng về mình cũng dặn người dân là bỏ hết cái gạch